16-year-old Reed Taylor had been trapped underwater for as long as 20 minutes, showing no signs of life. Bystanders along the Sacramento River relayed word of his desperate situation to John Scott, the owner of a nearby boat dock.
We checked the whole river on the way down, but we basically know already where we're going, which snags to look at.
Accompanying John were two of his employees, including Eric Olson, who had never been on a rescue attempt before.
So I started looking for somebody above the water, you know. But John had spotted some tubes sitting there. There's nobody around, you know. Like, why are we going over there? We saw an ice chest sticking out by the tree. And he just headed right for it. He kind of knew. When I picked up the rope, I didn't even see anything. And all of a sudden, I seen his leg come out.
Got his leg! Get the rope! Cut the rope! Cody, get a knife!
I had to tell him like 3 or 4 times to get the knife. He was really freaking out. He didn't know what to do.
Once that rope's cut, there's no second chance. We either, we get him in the boat or we lose him.
The current was so strong that I almost fell in the water myself. I almost let go of him.
Hold on, sir. Come on, Tom. I can't breathe. Hurry up. Come on, Tony, hurry up.
The kid couldn't weigh more than 150 pounds, and it took 3 guys well over 200 pounds to get this kid out. The current was just, it felt like a magnet.
After being trapped underwater for as long as 25 minutes, Reed was not breathing and had no pulse.
Okay. We just started CPR. And once we got started on that procedure, the next thing we thought of was getting back as fast as that boat could get us back. We radioed back to the landing and told them to call 911 that we have a possible drown victim to have the ambulance meet at our boat launch.
Chico Medic 2, we got a report of a drowning at Scotty's Landing off River Road.
An ambulance en route to a non-emergency call was immediately redirected to pick up Reed.
He really didn't seem to be coming through at all. All the water was coming out. It just kept on coming out more and more. It just wouldn't stop, it seemed like. He was underwater too long.
By the time Reed's friends reached their truck, they were still unaware of how serious his condition was.
We heard that he was at Scotty's boat landing and they were administering first aid. Oh, first aid. I'm like, phew, he's out of the water. I'm thinking first aid. He got bumped, on the logs and stuff, and everyone's like, oh, cool. He's out. He's okay.
We had probably half a dozen people, including my employees, waiting for us. It was warm on it. See, man, I want to get him warm.
What's said? Take a step back. Turn it off. Go, John. 1, 2.
A lot of people offered to help, and then people were giving mouth to mouth, and then there were already people behind them ready to take over, to help these other people out there who were out of breath, who were really tired, and a lot of people were willing to help. It was a really good feeling to see.
4, 5, switch.
I told him, don't let go. I said, we're right here. We're all here helping you. Don't give up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He didn't look good.
3, 4, 5.
As soon as paramedic Jeff Moore and his partner Carrie Allen arrived, they took over Reed's care.
It took us approximately 8 minutes to get to the scene, which for us is at the upper limits of our response time. We were immediately fraught with a sense of helplessness. This individual, it was reported, may have been down as long as 1 hour.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The patient wasn't breathing. It didn't have a pulse. In fact, we could call him clinically dead. In the back of my mind, I thought, we don't have any hope. And maybe we're even doing this for aesthetic value. Maybe we're doing this because there's a bunch of people around watching us.
How long have you been down? Been down for 25 minutes underwater.
We looked down near the shore, and Reed was lying on the ground. There was paramedics, so many people around him. I was practically hysterical by that time. And a ranger caught me and sat us all down and tried to explain to us what had happened. She told us that the only thing we could do is pray for him because they couldn't find a heartbeat, and they're just trying their best to help him.
We got him in the back of the ambulance, and we gave him an advanced airway. Instituted an intravenous line, gave him several cardiac medications to stimulate his heart.
Just look, there was nothing there. There was nothing. He was blue. I mean, it just looked like, that couldn't be Reed. I mean, not the guy that was painting faces on, you know. It was hard for me to think that if anything had happened to Reed, he saved my life.
Initially, there was no response. After a battery of medications, which was standard for this absence of cardiac rhythm, we were approximately 6 minutes into the transportation en route to the hospital when one of the rescuers thought she detected a faint pulse.
He could have had an organized rhythm for a few seconds and then gone right back into what he had before, or we could have revived him long enough to be on a ventilator for the rest of his life. There was no way you could say we saved the patient at that point. He was very far from being saved.
He's down anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour under the water.
Reed was admitted under the care of Dr. Terry Freitas.
He had no blood pressure. He was extremely cold, 14 to 16 degrees below what's considered a normal body temperature. He appeared clinically dead.
With a core body temperature of only 82 degrees, Reed was severely hypothermic. In an effort to slowly raise his body temperature, they administered warm oxygen and circulated warm fluids through his stomach.
We'll do whatever we have to do. Yeah, sounds good, Mary.
While doctors and nurses fought to save Reed's life, his parents, Rocky and Judy Taylor, arrived.
We just tried to talk to him as much as we could, hoping he would open his eyes and come to. But I don't think anybody thought he was going to.
Oh, you got it.
For twin brother Jeremy, the shock was overwhelming.
I tried thinking about Reed not being there, and I couldn't even think about it. I couldn't even imagine that we wouldn't be together.
Around 3 a.m., a nurse brought the Taylor family some news.
I don't think anybody could believe it when she came out and they said, Reed's opened his eyes. So we all went racing in there, and he was back asleep again. And then she said, Reed, open your eyes. And he did. He just opened his eyes. It was wonderful.
Oh, good. That's the way. You see your mom?
My mom grabbed hold of his hand, and she squeezed her hand. And then, while he was doing this, he kind of rolled his head over, and he just looked at me and gave me the faintest smile. And right then I just knew he's going to pull through.
After only 4 days in the hospital, Reed was released, showing no ill effects from his near drowning.
The immersion in the cold water, much, much reduced. The amount of requirements that are needed to sustain life, particularly the brain. But I feel that it was miraculous resuscitation, and if the resurrection was a 10, this was would score about a 9.
Over! I just didn't think it happened. I couldn't believe it, because I didn't remember anything, so it was like it never happened to me.
We had a party for him when he came home. He was fine. Everyone just kind of stared at him, wanted to touch him, make sure he was really there. And it was just really great. It was a really happy ending, something that could have been really tragic.
I think it's lost its stuff.
He doesn't like to talk about the accident, but he can talk about it with me. I think it's mostly because I was there with him.
At the beginning of Reed's sophomore year of high school, his friend Sue Miller went off to college.
Did you get it all?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him. I mean, he saved my life, and I think there's always gonna be a special feeling there.
Thank you.
1 year later, Reed is quarterback of the football team again. His complete recovery still amazes rescuer John Scott.
It's something that I'll never forget the rest of my life. And when you look at a kid that was lifeless laying on the beach or in the water, and then you look at him, he's breathing, he's up and about, and he's bright-eyed, he's smiling, and he looks good, and, you know. That's about the most exciting thing that could ever happen.
We'd be putting flowers on some stone someplace. Just one guy would have said, we've done all we can. And it was an incredible chain of people that contributed.
I love all those people. I love them all. A special place in heaven for people like that. No doubt about it.
next.
911, do you have an emergency?
Down at the dollar, a guy just pulled a gun.
Do you know who he is?
I don't know. He's pointing it at me now. He's shooting.